The scream tore through the winter air like shattering glass. The wooden platform buckled under the weight of the wedding crowd, cracking loud enough to silence every heartbeat. In the chaos, a woman in a white gown, fragile and trembling in her wheelchair, teetered at the edge of the frozen lake. Her veil fluttered wildly, like a ghost begging for help, as the ice beneath her groaned and split. For a single breath, the world stopped. Then he moved. A man in a red flannel coat, with a German shepherd racing beside him, bolted through the snow. There was no fear in his eyes, just instinct. He didn't think. He didn't hesitate. He simply ran for her life. Before anyone else reacted, he threw himself forward, crashing into the freezing lake with his dog. The ice shattered around them like broken stars. The dog barked sharply, pulling toward the sinking bride, cutting through the icy current with the courage of a true guardian. Her pale fingers clung to the broken edge. Knuckles white, her wedding dress twisting like trapped wings under the water. The man grabbed her hand, rough, warm, alive, while his muscles screamed against the cold. Together, man and dog dragged her toward safety, inch by inch, breath by trembling breath. By the time paramedics arrived, he had already wrapped his coat around her shaking body. His dog, soaked and shivering, pressed its head gently into her lap, as if telling her she wasn't alone. Before she could even whisper thank you, the man simply nodded and walked away through the falling snow. His jeans soaked, his breath unsteady, his loyal dog limping beside him. His name was Ethan Cross, once a proud firefighter, now a school janitor, a widowed father raising an 8-year-old daughter, Mia, in a quiet cabin at the edge of the forest. His life was simple, cleaning dusty hallways, repairing leaky pipes, and packing Mia's lunch before school. But every morning he kissed her forehead and whispered the same promise: "We may not have much, but we have each other." Mia loved Shadow, the German shepherd who had worked with Ethan in his rescue days. When Ethan's wife died from cancer, Shadow became the heartbeat of their home. The reason Ethan kept going. 2 weeks after the lake rescue, Ethan returned home from his night shift and froze. A black limousine sat outside his cabin, its windows dark like secrets. Mia peeked from behind the curtain, fear widening her eyes. "Dad, are we in trouble?" From the car stepped a woman, graceful, elegant, but with sadness written in every line of her face. Her once perfect wedding hair now fell softly around her shoulders. It was Ara Whitmore, the bride he had saved. "I've been looking for you," she whispered. "You saved my life." Ethan looked away, humbled. Anyone would have done the same. "No," she said, her voice breaking. No one else moved. "Except you." Inside the warm cabin, she shared the truth she had buried under diamonds and expectations. She was heir to Whitmore Industries, a billion-dollar empire her father built with his hands and heart. But on her wedding day, she uncovered a betrayal so deep it shattered her world. Her fiancé and stepbrother planned to steal everything from her. When she confronted them, things spiraled. She tried to escape, and the platform collapsed beneath her. Tears gathered in her eyes. "If you hadn't been there, Ethan, I wouldn't be sitting here. They would have taken everything, including my life." Ethan listened quietly, Shadow leaning against his legs, Mia resting her small hand on Ara's trembling one. In that moment, the warm cabin felt like a sanctuary, a place Ara had never experienced before. Days became weeks. Ara visited often. She helped Mia with homework, cooked simple meals she had never made in her rich life, and walked Shadow through snowy trails. She laughed again, soft, uncertain at first, then fuller, brighter. Happiness returned to her face like dawn returning after a long winter night. But the past has sharp claws. One night, a black SUV rolled slowly down the snowy road. Era's breath caught. They found me, her stepbrother's men. Ethan stepped outside, heart pounding but voice steady. Shadow stood beside him, teeth bared, ready to protect the family he loved. "You have one chance to leave," Ethan said, fear trembling in his hands but not in his words. He wasn't a firefighter anymore. He wasn't a hero in uniform. He was just a father with one mission: protect the people who meant everything to him. The standoff ended when the police arrived. Alerted by Ara's private investigator, the men fled into the night. Ara broke down in tears, realizing Ethan had risked everything for her. Not for her money, not for her name, but because he cared. The next morning, her voice shook as she spoke. "My father left the entire company to me," she admitted. "I don't want to face this alone. I want to build something new, something good, with people who understand real strength." She took Ethan's hand. "I want to fund a community center here. In your wife's name. A place where people can heal. Like I did here with you and Mia." Ethan couldn't speak. Mia beamed. Shadow wagged his tail gently, as if blessing the moment. Spring came early that year. Snow melted into blooming fields. 3 months later, the Cross Hope Center opened. Bright rooms filled with laughter, therapy dogs, art classes, and a memorial garden blooming with peace. At the ribbon cut, Ethan stood with Mia and Era by his side. Cameras flashed, but he didn't care. When Mia cut the ribbon, she whispered proudly, "This is for all the dads who never give up." Reporters asked Era why she poured millions into a small mountain town. Her answer was soft, but powerful, "Because someone saved me when no one else did. And he didn't even ask my name." Ethan continued working at the school. Kids called him Mr. Hero, but he just smiled. He didn't feel like a hero. He felt grateful. Ara became part of their small family, sharing dinners, walking shadow, laughing with Mia. People whispered about love blooming, but Ethan and Ara didn't rush. Healing takes time. So does love born from kindness. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the mountains, Era stood by the lake where everything began. The water glowed gold, no longer a place of fear, but of rebirth. She whispered, "The place that almost ended my life gave me a new one." Ethan stood beside her, hand resting calmly on Shadow's head. "Sometimes," he said softly, "the coldest moments lead to the warmest miracles." Mia ran toward them with wildflowers, laughter dancing across the lake. Shadow barked once, joyfully, as if agreeing. The moment was simple, perfect, filled with love, gratitude, and second chances. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to Bright Hearts. Your support helps us continue sharing stories that remind the world that kindness still exists.